Hello, welcome to Out of the Blue. We're reviewing the Alien Anthology Blu-ray box set. And there's a whole lot to review here, so let's get right into it. We're on Disc 5, and this is the second portion of Disc 5, starting with Superior Firepower, Making Aliens. Okay, this first segment is called 57 Years Later, Continuing the Story. In this first segment, basically it talks about how they wanted to continue Alien and they wanted to make a sequel, and they looked for a lot of young directors and they came across James Cameron, who at the time was getting ready to film The Terminator, and he wanted to get Arnold Schwarzenegger to play the part of the Terminator, but Arnold Schwarzenegger was already busy with Conan, so he ended up writing the script for Aliens. And they basically said, well, Terminator is a hit, then he can go ahead and direct Aliens. And the big thing about him directing Aliens was that he wanted to get Sigourney Weaver to come back. Building better worlds, from concept to construction. Okay, this featurette shows a lot of the designers, the people that design the sets and design the ships, such as the dropship, as well as the APC car that they drove. And it's a unique featurette. They show old footage again, as well as new footage. And it is very interesting because it shows exactly from where they started to where it ended up in the film. Preparing for battle, casting and characterization.
I thought she was so interesting, and Jim said that he normally would have written her as a man, or you would normally make the meanest, the baddest, the man, a 6-foot guy with a huge mustache, but he thought it'd be interesting to make it into a woman.
Okay, this featurette shows the cast, and when they went to cast people for the movie, such as the characters of Vasquez and Drake and Hudson. And the thing I really liked about this, and it was really interesting not only to hear from them, but they showed footage from like interviews that they did behind the scenes back when they were making the film. And then they show them today and what they look like today. So it was really cool to see this. And because I was always interested in what they thought of the movie today at this point and what they thought of it then. And it kind of gives you that perspective. So it's a really cool featurette. And I really liked this one and enjoyed it. This time it's War, Pinewood Studios, 1985. Okay, this featurette is one of the longer featurettes on this disc, and it kind of continues the casting as they show Michael Biehn entering the role of Hicks, who they originally had a different actor for. So he talks about how he became Hicks for the role, as well as showing right from the beginning where they started filming and how much a perfectionist that James Cameron actually was, and the fights that he actually had to go through because they were filming in the Pinewood Studios in England, and in England they take tea breaks and things like that. So he was trying to film the movie and film it on time, and he always had to stop because of things like that, because they had to take breaks. And that and just time constraints and different things, just filming the movie as things came up. And the other thing about this featurette that's really interesting is they show a lot of behind the scenes footage right from the start. They show quite a bit of behind the scenes while he was filming it. So it's an interesting featurette, and even though it's kind of long. The Risk Always Lives. Weapons and Action.
My initial thought was that what we wanted to do was find some of the most reliable blank firing weapons we could and construct the futuristic look over the top of those. And we looked for guns that would fire blanks, that would give us the best flash, the best rate of fire, the most power, I suppose.
Okay, this featurette shows their design of the weapons. And basically they took weapons that you would normally see. They took recognizable weapons and changed them into, by doing little things here and there, changed them into more space age looking weapons, which was, this featurette was pretty cool. I actually enjoyed this one quite a bit. I thought it was very interesting to see how they came up with all these different weapons. Bug Hunt creature design. Okay, this featurette is pretty self-explanatory. It says exactly what it is. And it's where they show how they went back to Giger's designs on the original Aliens for a lot of the drone aliens, but the Queen alien was all James Cameron. And they show how James Cameron came up with the Queen alien, and that was specifically all him. He's the one that developed the brand new Queen alien, or the look that the Queen alien had. It also shows the mechanics of like the face huggers and how they changed the face huggers just a bit to make them a little more up to date, I guess you'd say. And they just show the mechanics of it and how it actually ran across the room or jumped, and how they filmed it. So again, nice featurette. They show a lot of behind the scenes footage, and it's actually really interesting. Two orphans, Sigourney Weaver and Carrie Henn. Okay, now this is pretty self-explanatory too. They show Sigourney Weaver, and she talks about how she was basically the mother figure in the film to Carrie Henn, who played Newt. And this was really interesting because they actually showed some footage from when they made it, and showing Carrie Henn as the little girl, as Newt way back then, and then to see her, what she looks like now, that was really kind of interesting. I really enjoyed that. And not only do they show her, but they show the person that played her brother in the film as well, the film footage that was originally cut from the film and then placed back into the Aliens Special Edition. Again, a nice featurette and very entertaining. Beauty and the Bitch. Power Loader versus Queen Alien. That's kind of funny they say the Power Loader versus the Queen Alien when they actually show the Queen Alien first. Well, what they do here is they show the whole concept of the alien and how they put an alien together in the back lot made out of like trash bags and things. And just to see what it would actually look like, or possibility, a mock-up of what it could possibly look like once it's made and once it was filmed, and how they created the power loader and how it actually moved and how it worked, where they actually had somebody inside the power loader walking the power loader as Sigourney Weaver was on top. So plus they also showed the power loader as a small miniature for some scenes. It was surprising to me because I didn't actually realize that some of those were miniatures in those scenes. So to actually see it here and see that footage being filmed was really entertaining for me and surprising and something new. The Final Countdown. Music editing, and sound.
My job right now is to make sure the musicians have something to play at least that sounds 80% of what you're asking for. If I had more time, I could make it 100%, but we don't. And Gail's response was icy cold. She said, well, we'll just get somebody who can. And I said, please do. If you can get somebody more experienced and better able to produce this than me, I'd like to meet him because I'm sure I'll learn something.
It's actually pretty entertaining because they show James Horner, the composer for the musical score for Aliens, and how much pressure he was under to try to get this film scored. He had like 6 weeks till the movie was actually supposed to be released to actually score the film, write all the music, record all the music, and be able to put it in the film. But in that 6 weeks, he had not seen not one bit of footage. He had not started even to write the first note. So it's really entertaining to see how James Horner, a perfectionist, and James Cameron, also a perfectionist, trying to get this done, and the turmoil that happened between them. The power of real tech, visual effects. This featurette is all about, of course, the special effects. How they filmed them, how they put them all together, how they created each one. And this featurette is also one of the, I think, the longest featurette on this disc, running about 30 minutes. But is very, very cool. They show a lot of raw footage of them filming, like the dropship crashing, and how many times they had to film it, and how many different ways it was filmed, different angles. And it's special effects like that all the way through the featurette, and it's very entertaining, very cool. Aliens Unleashed, reaction to the film.
They were projecting it for the press in New York City, or for somebody, so maybe it was a whatever audience, but I think it was for the press, because I remember we weren't, and I think Bill was there. He could probably tell you. Well, his memory's probably as bad as mine is, but he's always been full of energy, and he was like, you know, God damn, man, that's a goddamn roller coaster ride, motherfucker! It's huge, you know. That's the way that Bill was. Home run, baby, just like his character.
Okay, this is the final segment, the final featurette on this portion of the disc, and it's basically the cast talking about when the movie finally came out and their reaction to it, and how the impact that it actually made on their lives, and how they couldn't wait to see this film. They couldn't wait so much to see it. They, like, 2 of them actually go up into a projection booth to watch it before they were supposed to. And it's a fun ending to this whole segment of featurettes. Next up on this disc is also the Enhancement Pods for the making of Aliens. And basically all the Enhancement Pods are excerpts from all the featurettes that you just saw. They're a little bit longer interviews. There's stuff that they didn't use. And that's pretty much all it is. So that was Superior Firepower Making Aliens. All those featurettes. Wow. All of them were amazing. I really enjoyed watching this stuff. But now it's time for you to go to the next review, where David is going to pick up on Alien 3.